right, hello everyone. Welcome to the next episode of Let's Talk. And today I am happy to interview Selena Coles, who is the creator of Get Fit with Selena. Hey, Selena.
Hi, Joanna. How are you?
So good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I can't complain.
All righty. Well, we're going to jump right in because I know you got a lot of good stuff to tell us. So first of all, I want to ask you, how did Get Fit with Selena get started?
Well, Get Fit with Selena started a while ago. I just had many different names. But the main reason is because I remember when my son is about 9 years old right now. So when he was about 9 months, I felt like I needed something for myself. And back then in 2011, I didn't really know about postpartum depression. And so I think I went through that not knowing that I was going through that. And I just needed an outlet. I just needed me time. And so that's when I really started to like get active. And I remember we lived in an apartment complex in Virginia. And I just started going to the fitness center a lot just to get away because I just needed something for myself. And then as the years evolved, then I really started to really enjoy fitness. I kind of was a little vain because I wanted to fit into my wedding dress. So I was like, I need to get snatched. And that's when I really started. Huh?
That's motivation.
Yeah. And that's when I really started waking up at like 4 a.m. to go to Planet Fitness because that was really my time. Like my husband and my son is asleep. No one's really bothering me. That is my time to sneak out the house. Well, not really sneak out the house. They knew where I was going. That was my time to get out the house and, enjoy an hour to myself. And although it was really early, but that was the sacrifice that I was willing to make. So that's just how the whole fitness journey started. And then I realized that moms, including myself, it's hard to try to balance motherhood and your time, whatever your time is. Maybe it's not always fitness for somebody else. Maybe it's, taking a bubble bath or arts and crafts. But for me, it was fitness. And I know that a lot of moms, we have to keep our energy up to keep up with our kids. And we want to look and we want to feel good as well. So I was just like, as if I'm struggling with this and I have other mom friends that are struggling with this, I know that there's other moms out there that I haven't even connected with that are looking for some type of motivation to balance motherhood and fitness and health. So that's how the whole brand started. So yeah.
So I know that you mentioned postpartum depression, and you said you didn't even have any idea what that was at the time. So did you feel like the fitness kind of helped you with that, help, put something in perspective with that? What is your take on that?
Absolutely. It allowed me to basically like step outside of being a mom. And at that time I was just a girlfriend, but it allowed me to just like connect with me and figure out like what I wanted. And it also helped with stress. It brightened up my mood. It made my day a little bit better. And it made me feel like I was pouring into myself first before I poured into my son and my now husband. So yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's really important because I think as women, we are so used to taking care of others that oftentimes we forget to take care of ourselves.
Absolutely.
And we get to the point where we're so burnt out that we're no good to anybody, including ourselves.
Exactly. Yep.
So I know for me, and really I'm not an exercise guru, but I do know I always feel better when I do exercise, when I do take that time out and do something that's just for me. So I think it's super important that we do that. So let's talk a little bit about your brand. Tell me what is unique and different about what you do.
I think what's unique and different about Get Fit with Selena is that I know who I'm speaking to. And I know I have some women that aren't moms on my page, and that's totally fine. But like, I'm really speaking to that mom that is like, you know what, I need to find that balance. I need to find that motivation, and I need to find that time. Because what I like to tell moms is that the time is there. You just have to look at what you're doing And again, it doesn't have to be an hour. You don't have to wake up at the crack of dawn like I do. You can now work out in your home, right? Because we're seeing that now with what's going on in the world. You can work out in your home. You
Mhm.
could do 30 minutes. And I remember, when I lived in Florida, you can take a walk on your lunch break. It's really just moving your body. So that's what I think is unique about my brand, is that I'm talking specifically to moms, and I'm letting moms know that we got to get moving. And I'm motivating moms. I'm inspiring moms. I kind of get a little, I tell the truth. I tell the truth when it comes to, we can't have excuses. We can't use our children as our reasons and as our excuses why we can't get fit or get healthy. So
Exactly. And I know for a long time, I've been telling, oh, I don't have time to work out. I got all these things I'm doing. And
mm-hmm.
then, now that we're at home because of the coronavirus, it's like I can't even use that excuse anymore. So now it's really
Right.
just me looking at myself and saying, you know what, there is no more excuses. You
Right.
have time and you make time to do what you want to do.
Yes,
So
absolutely. Yes.
with me anyway, I've actually had to sit down and say that this is something I need to prioritize. My health
Mm-hmm.
is important. And especially now in this day and age, I have
Mm-hmm.
to make the time to get
Right.
healthy. So for
Absolutely.
me, it's like I really had to have a conversation with myself and say, you know what, no more excuses. Either you're going to do it or you're not.
Right.
So
Exactly. Yeah.
I appreciate the fact that you're actually honest to women, because a lot of
Yeah.
people just kind of pacify you and let you just whine and grind and, do your
Yeah.
thing. But, sometimes we need that friend that's going to say, look, it is what it
Yeah.
is. When you want to get
Exactly.
help, call me. If
Right.
not, it don't.
Yeah.
So we all
Yeah.
some woman like that in our life.
Right. Right. That's
So
true.
let's talk
That's
a little bit about what your definition of a healthy lifestyle is.
okay. So my definition of a healthy lifestyle is first mentally.
Mhm.
It all starts in your mind. I like to tell people your body will do anything that your mind tells it to. So
Mhm.
think about it. If you're working out and you feel tired, right? You feel it. But if you tell yourself, keep going, I'm going to do 5 more, your body is going to do 5 more because you control.
Mhm.
It's like mind body control. So it all starts mentally. You have to have a positive attitude.
Mhm.
When you show up to a workout, you can't be like, oh, I'm here,
Right.
because then your workout is going to be like a drag. So I'm
Right.
not saying that you have to be on 100, but it's kind of like you have to go into it with, what, I'm here to do 20 minutes. I'm here to
Mhm.
do 30 minutes. I'm going to do a little bit more than what I did yesterday. So it's
Mhm.
mine first. And also I would say spiritual as well, because we all know that like this body is not ours, right? So God gave us this body. We have to take care of this body the best way we know how. We have to be careful of like, what we're drinking, what we're eating. And I'm not saying that I don't have fried chicken every once in a while, or I don't have a honey bun, because if you know me, I have a sweet tooth. So I'm not saying that I don't indulge, but I do,
Right.
there's balance, right? And so for me, I just want to show God that like this body that I'm borrowing, I'm going to do the best that I can, and I'm going to treat it well. And because we only get one life and we only get one body, like we're not getting another body.
Exactly.
Like this is
That's it. That's
I mean, we
it.
can we can change it, but this is it. Like this is it. So mentally, being mentally healthy, being spiritually healthy, and then physically healthy.
Mhm.
Everyone's goal is not to have a flat stomach or toned arms or toned legs. Maybe you just want to lose a couple inches, and that's fine. But healthy to me is what you feel is healthy. And when you go to the doctor and your blood pressure is great and you don't have high cholesterol,
Mhm.
things like that. But everyone is not trying to be whatever the Instagram model is, right?
Right.
Everyone's not trying to be that. So whatever you feel, and you have to be honest with yourself. If you
Mhm.
feel like, you know what, I look good, I feel good, I'm happy with myself, then that is healthy.
Right.
Right. So
I definitely agree. And I think that there is a link between you feeling healthy and you having great self-confidence about yourself also.
yeah.
So if you're
Mm-hmm.
unhappy with your body or how you look, then let's try to change that. Not for the words to say that, there's something wrong with you, but we want
Right.
you to feel better in the visual. So I think it does help. And it
Absolutely.
is a factor in your self-esteem. So
Mm-hmm.
Lee, talking about that, we're going to go into our next question, which is about your diet. How important do you think your diet is to maintaining a healthy lifestyle?
So I definitely think dieting is important. You hear that bodies are made with the 80% in the kitchen, 20% in the gym. And like
Mhm.
when I watch like my 600 pound life, I study that show a lot because the first thing that the first thing the doctor now does is that he
Mhm.
talks about what are you eating, right?
Mhm.
Because I was going through a phase in 2017 where I was just going through the motions. I was getting up early, I was going to the gym, but I had a stressful job and I would just eat. But when I
Mhm.
look at me now that I'm very in tune with what I'm eating versus 2017, it looks totally different. So
Mhm.
as I always say, you cannot outwork a bad diet, and I don't believe that you can. Um, so being mindful of what you're eating, making sure you're getting your protein, making sure you're getting your veggies, making sure you're getting your fruit, and eating for your blood type, that's something else that we should also
Mhm.
research. Because I do believe that depending on your blood type, there's certain foods that agrees with your body more than others. And then making sure you're drinking your water. So I
Mhm.
definitely believe that you can work out and that's great. But if you're
Mhm.
not feeding your body what it needs, then your workout is kind of like in vain a little bit. Um, because food is fuel for your body. Food
Mhm.
gets your body moving. Think about like when you eat um like sugar or when you eat like carbs and stuff, how like slump you feel, like you just feel like, oh, I need a nap. But when you eat, veggies and you eat fruit and you're drinking your water, you feel a lot more energized.
Mhm.
So diet is definitely important. I would say diet first. If you want to start with something, start with dieting and then
Mhm.
move to the exercising.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hmm. You said something that was really interesting, eating for your blood type. I've never heard that before.
Yes. So there
Didn't
is a book.
even know it was a thing, but so
Yeah,
can you
there's a book, and I've been meaning to get the book, and I've heard about the book on a couple of podcasts that I've listened to, and it's called Eating for Your Blood Type. And from what I did read a little bit about it is that there are certain foods that agree with your blood type. And so I think I'm a O, blood type O. And so there's certain foods that I should be eating and there's certain foods that I should not be eating. And I also think to me, like I speak for myself, as I've gotten older, I'm starting to pay attention to what I'm eating. Like I believe that dairy is not my friend. Although I
Mhm.
like um, I'm starting to pay attention to like after I eat dairy, how my body feels after I
Mhm.
eat dairy. Or like broccoli makes me a little gassy. So I'm starting to pay attention to stuff like that. And so I would tell people, pay attention, even if it's your favorite food. Pay attention
Right.
to what you're eating and how your body responds. And that may be an indication that, you know what, maybe I need
Yeah.
to cut that out. So
Mhm.
yeah.
I know for me, as in my 30s, I never really had weight problems, and I don't have a weight problem now, but I
Mhm.
noticed that my metabolism has slowed all the way down.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
and weight when I used to be able to get it off quickly, that doesn't happen anymore. It actually takes effort for me to actually, stay at a certain size that I'm
Right.
comfortable with.
Mhm.
So yes,
Mhm.
I do think you need to pay attention, to your diet because there are some things that don't sit well with me. I
Right.
am like a pasta Italian person, but tomatoes and now gives me indigestion. And so I have to be limited in what
Mhm.
I actually eat now, even though that's
Right.
like my favorite food. So it is
Mhm.
something you definitely need to pay attention for. How do you feel about
Absolutely.
supplements? Do you recommend, like, do you take any supplements? Or do you just strictly stick with the diet itself?
Um, I don't really take any supplements. I mean, I have
Mm-hmm.
my vitamins. But those are like biotin and my multivitamin.
Mm-hmm.
I do take like a protein shake after I do a intense like leg workout, but that's
Mm-hmm.
about it. I mean, I'm not against supplements. Again, do your
Right.
research, maybe talk to your doctor about it and figure out what's best for your body because everybody's body is different.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not against supplements though. I mean, if it
Okay.
works for you,
Right.
yeah.
Okay, so another question I've been getting from a lot of my friends who are also parents and have kids,
Mm-hmm.
is now that everybody's at home, what can we do as a family to stay healthy?
Oh, I mean, I love this type of this season because if it was like winter, well, depending on where you live, because we all know Juana in Florida, there's no winter.
Don't hate.
So
Don't hate.
So, I mean, now that we're like in the spring and it's sunny outside, I would definitely, and then this time now because the kids are not in school, I would definitely do things outside if you can.
Mhm.
Um, if you could do a jump rope, and you know what's funny? I don't have a toddler, but what I have witnessed is that your children kind of like imitate what you do. So if like
Right.
you're on the ground doing push-ups, they're going to be doing push-ups. And they're like, mommy, and they may even try to climb on your back. So I would say
Mhm.
start with outside because that's fresh air and that's giving the kids time to like run around. But you guys
Mhm.
could go on a family walk. You could run, ride
Mhm.
bikes. That's moving. Jumping jacks. That's something
Mhm.
that kids can do. Very easy coordination, even if they're just, jumping around, maybe not even like moving
Mhm.
their arms. Um, what else? If you have a baby, you could use your baby as like a weight to do squats. And like babies like to be held. So like you're holding
Mhm.
your baby and you're doing your squats. You could do that.
Mhm.
You could always do sit-ups. Babies like to, sit on your stomach, or toddlers like to sit on your stomach while you're doing your sit-ups. So anything that makes it fun for your child as well, and to get your child moving too. Um, so again, you don't have to overthink it. It doesn't have to be extreme. It can be very simple. You're moving your body and you're getting your kids active as well. Hopscotch is another thing. You get some chalk, draw some
Yeah,
hopscotch
that's
in
true.
your driveway. That's easy. That's fun. Dribbling the basketball if you have a little boy, throwing the
Mhm.
football. It's movement. And it's fun. So,
Mhm.
and you're moving your body as well. So I would say do things like that if you want to like get your child moving as well with you.
Mhm. I know one of the things that we start incorporating, and we haven't done it as a family yet, but it is on my list of things to do,
Mm-hmm.
is we bought the kids bikes. So just going around and letting them ride the bike while we walk behind them, and do that a couple of times during
Absolutely.
the day. And then,
Yeah.
my son does have a basketball goal, so of course we
Mm-hmm.
can let him go out there and shoot some hoops
Mm-hmm.
or something. But
Yeah.
um, so yeah, so those are some of the small things. What about food for kids? One of the things that we have done, and I actually found this on Facebook, is
Okay.
that I was really struggling because now that the kids are home, they eat like 24 hours a day. So we were like, I was like, they're eating us out of house and
For the
home.
home, yeah.
They were eating up all the snacks, all the food, all the bread. I was like, I don't know how we're going to feed them the next month. But I saw this thing on Facebook where they have little baskets, and it's like you put what their daily snacks are going to be in those little baskets, and that's it. They don't get anything else. So they get to pick, if they want a juice. And our rule in our house is that they get one juice a day. It could be a Capri Sun, but that's the only one they get. They drink water the rest of the day. So you
I
can
know
either
that's
have
right.
it for
Yeah.
breakfast, you can have a juice for lunch, you can have it for dinner, you can have a midnight snack, but you only get it once.
Yeah.
So I found that on Facebook, and that's been helping a lot because now they know that, hey, everything that I can eat for the day outside of breakfast, lunch, and dinner
Lunch dinner,
is
yeah.
all my snacks is in this, this basket, and I can't eat anything else. So do you have any other tips that could help, moms or who are in those
Yeah.
positions also?
So the meal prep trays, the one that has the different compartments.
Uh-huh.
So I suggested this to a friend that has younger children. And I was like, you could meal prep, right? So I'm a big meal prepper. So on Sunday, today's, yeah. So on Sunday, when you're meal prepping for yourself, right? you could meal prep for your children. And even you may just meal prep a lunch. You may just meal
Mm-hmm.
prep a dinner, because I know that may take time. So you get the meal prep trays that have the compartments, and you're like, so let's do lunch. So let's say lunch, they have a ham and cheese sandwich, and then in the other compartment they have some grapes, and then the other compartment they have a couple of chips.
Mm-hmm.
That's an idea. So you can say, listen, this is what you're having for lunch for this week. It's already in the refrigerator, because I know a lot of us were still working from home. We don't have
Mm-hmm.
time to stop and like get up and like cook this meal. So if they're
Right.
able to go into that refrigerator and get that tray by themselves, get to that table, get their Capri Sun or get their juice or their water, open up that container and eat, or you're able to just quickly go into the refrigerator, grab that tray out, set it up at the table and say, hey, it's time for lunch. So that's an idea. I like your
Mm-hmm.
idea as well with putting the snacks in a basket and saying, these are the snacks that you're having. I have a dry eraser board on my refrigerator. It's one of those little small ones that you get from the Dollar Tree.
Uh-huh.
And because I'm a planner, I like to write down on the board every morning what we're having. So we're having oatmeal for breakfast, lunch we're having this, dinner we're having this. So I know, so I don't have to stand in front of the refrigerator like, what are we gonna have? Because that
Right.
takes time. And like I said, we're working from home. We're trying to be
Mm-hmm.
teachers as well at this point. So planning and prepping is key.
Mm-hmm.
And making sure your children have, and I'm not going to sound like I'm just like, oh my God, my son doesn't have cookies. But I do think it's important to make sure your child is having some type of fruit. So with
Mm-hmm.
DJ, I make sure he has, whether it's, strawberries and sliced bananas with his breakfast, and then maybe lunch, cut up some oranges. Dinner, he probably
Mm-hmm.
won't have any fruit. But I try to
Mm-hmm.
make sure I give him some fruit instead of,
Right.
chips and
Mm-hmm.
cookies and popcorn and fruit roll-ups and stuff like that.
Right.
And making sure they get their water in as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, we've also done things too. Instead of buying all the chips and stuff, we bought like apple slices. We've kind of, I mean, we still have
Absolutely.
it because
Yeah.
they are kids,
Right.
but
Yeah.
also get a lot of the sugary things out and kind of replace it with like apples, apple chips, oranges, carrots,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
applesauce, things like that, to
Yeah.
kind of get them from having so much sweets because,
Mm-hmm.
they're at home with us now. So it's like, you don't want them all
Yeah.
have to put sugar while you're trying to,
And think about it. If when they were in school or daycare, they were getting a balanced meal.
balance meal. Yeah, that's
I would
true.
think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you kind of want to like keep that going. Even, and I know
Mm-hmm.
that, buying fruit can sometimes be like, it's going to go bad in like in 2 days. But,
Yeah,
oranges and bananas and
right.
apples and stuff like that. And if you could get your grapes, yeah. So, yeah. But making sure your child has some type of fruit, and like you said, trying to cut out that sugar because they are home with us and we don't want them to be bouncing off the wall. And we're not trying to run up
Well,
a dental bill because clearly the dentist is not
right,
open.
exactly.
We don't need any no toothaches at
There
this
don't be
point.
no issues. No issues. Now you
No, because
mentioned,
we can't do anything about it because they're closed.
right, exactly. So you mentioned meal prepping. How long have you been doing that, and
Mhm.
what type of meals do you prep? Like, what do you normally do?
So this is so funny. So I've been meal prepping faithfully for about a year now.
Mm-hmm.
Because I realized that when I'm stressed
Mm-hmm.
or when I'm tired, I don't make the best decisions, right? Because as a mom, you're just exhausted. And so I see this with my son. If I'm tired and he's like, what's for dinner? I don't know, hot dog and baked beans. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with hot dogs and baked beans, but
Right.
I'm tired and I'm not making like the best decision.
Yeah.
And so because I know that what you're eating also plays a role into your results when you're trying to work out or achieve whatever you're trying to achieve. I figured that meal prepping is best for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll meal prep Now, 2 weeks out the month,
Mm-hmm.
I actually hired a young lady who actually meal preps here in Indiana. And so she's a better cook than I am. Her food is just very colorful, like no filter. Like it just looks very good and it's plant-based. And I'm not a plant-based like person, but I feel like it's good food. And if I give my body something different than what I would normally give it, then I'm like, fine. But I hire her 2 weeks out the month to meal prep my lunches for me so I can take to work. Because I feel like there's a lot of pressure at work to like eat out all the time.
Right.
And so that keeps me on track. But you know, I'll do a protein, a carb, and a veggie mostly for my meals. And so meal prepping just helps me save time and energy. So I don't really have to think of
Some examples of some exercise we're going to do. But before we do that, I want you to tell us, how can we stay connected with you? How can we get in touch with you?
So you can follow me on Instagram at Get Fit with Selena. All one handle, no spaces, I don't believe. And then you can also email me at SelenaColesFitness@gmail.com. And I also have a newsletter. I'm working on my website. So if you want to be a part of my newsletter, and I try to send out a newsletter like once a month, just giving like healthy tips, or if it's like, you know, nutrition month, I give like nutrition month tips, or last month was Women's History Month. And so I try to acknowledge and bring light to the women, African American women, who are contributing to health and wellness and fitness. So you can follow me on Instagram at Get Fit with Selena, or you can email me at SelenaColesFitness@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to go through the sample. You sent us some sample exercises. So tell us a little bit about the exercises and when we should be doing, how long we should be doing them. How do we get started?
All right. So one video was of pop squats. So pop squats is basically like a normal pop, but you are actually going down and you're touching the ground with your hand and you're popping back up. And so that works your legs because it's a squat. It works your legs and your back a little bit as well. Another video is skaters. That's really like a cardio. So it's opposite hand to opposite foot and you're just going really fast or at your own pace. And so I would say you could do each exercise for at least 30 seconds, 3 times.
Okay, 30 seconds, 3 times.
Yeah,
Got
30
it.
seconds, 3 times. Again, you know, take breaks when you need to, go at your own pace. It is you versus you, but it's a way to target your legs, target your legs and your abs.
Any last thoughts, anything you want to leave for all the women out there who are about to pull their hairs out because they're at home now? How can we stay sane to survive being in the house and not able to go anywhere?
I would say routine is important. Routine. So if you had some type of routine, you know, before this whole coronavirus started, this is a good time to kind of like adjust it and plug in that time to take care of yourself. So maybe now you don't have to wake up at 5 a.m., right? Because you're not rushing the kids off to daycare. You're not really like getting up and showering and putting on clothes and makeup and stuff to go to work, right? Some of us are able to work from our home. But I would give yourself 30 minutes before your kids or husband or whoever wakes up and do something. There's plenty of things on YouTube. I have a couple videos on my Instagram page that you can look at. So I really want you to establish a new routine now that we're home and really put in that time for you. It could be in the morning, it could be your lunch break maybe, and it could also be in the evening, or maybe even after your kids go to sleep, so you don't have any interruptions. Another thing that you can do is, if you want to get your family involved, go for a walk around your neighborhood. I don't think that we're not allowed to go outside and exercise,
Right.
as long as you're not mingling with other people. But go for a walk. Like, that's one of the things that we're doing. My husband and my son are gone now. We try to go for a walk at least once a day, maybe a mile or two. We
Mm-hmm.
just talk about whatever. We ask DJ, how is he feeling?
Mm-hmm.
We talk about work. We talk about people's garages. we, we just talk
Right.
about whatever. So, just pressured to, do these intense work people doing. Do what you can, but come up with a routine that you can stick to. Even if it's, twice a week, I'm going to do this. Once a week, I'm going to do this. But move
Right.
your body.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think you said something also that's really important, is that, the kids are going through a different season too. So we can't forget about them in their
Absolutely.
state too. So we
Mm-hmm.
need to make sure that we're
Yeah.
talking to our kids and seeing how they feel, and, just getting them out of the house, because they're not
Yeah.
used to being home all day either. I know with my kids, they're small.
Exactly.
They're 3 and 5, and
Mm-hmm.
even though I'm home, they're like, well, why can't you have a tea party at 12 o'clock today? So they don't understand. And it's like, I'm like, okay, well, let me get off the phone. And then the next minute,
Yeah.
all the tea party stuff is here, and I'm in the middle of, a meeting. So they don't understand that, mommy is at home, but she's still working. They can't wrap their
Right.
minds around that. So, and I
No.
have to be
Mm-mm.
careful about that, because they don't understand. They're smaller,
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
everyone's going through changes. So I think we all just kind of need to, get out, walk, breathe, have a
Mm-hmm.
moment to ourselves, just
Mm-hmm.
relax. The situation is what the situation is, but, we can keep a positive
Absolutely.
attitude.
My pastor said something that was, my pastor said something the other day. He said that we are all processing. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, that is so true. He was like, because the information is changing every single day, every single minute. So if we're processing, imagine what our children are doing. And
Right.
so, yes, DJ is, right now he's on spring break. So yes, DJ is watching TV. Yes, he's on his tablet. Yes, he's playing his Xbox. But we take that time after, when 5 o'clock comes, we close our laptops and we go
Mm-hmm.
walking outside, and we're just like, DJ, how do you feel? Do you miss your classmates? How do you feel about school? What do you miss about school? And sometimes we just like kind of like walk in silence sometimes. Like sometimes we don't have anything to talk about, but we're together. But we do
Right.
make a point to ask him, how is he doing every day? Because
Mm-hmm.
every day is different. Today I woke up okay, but tomorrow I could be in a totally different mind state. So yeah.
So it is something. Well, thank you so much, Selena. I really appreciate you taking time to help us get fit. And I
No
look forward
problem, Joanna.
to engaging with you. Remember to reach out to Selena on social media, her email list, stay connected with her. And thank you guys for joining us for another episode. Until next time, we'll talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.